Have you ever stopped to think about the weight of a sentence that destroys everything you thought was true about your own life? Imagine growing up believing in something, believing in a story, in a family, in a brother, and then, in a single moment of absolute rage, you discover that all of it was a lie, that the guy you called brother your whole life was never really your brother. That's exactly what happens in that brutal scene from X-Men Origins, Wolverine. Logan finally confronts Sabretooth, finally looks into the eyes of that man he followed through wars, through decades, through a lifetime of shared violence. And what does he say? "I'm not your brother." 4 words, just 4 words, but loaded with so much meaning that you feel the impact in your chest. Let's go back a bit, because to understand the weight of this scene, you need to understand the journey of these two. Logan and Victor Creed grew up together since they were kids, since that traumatic night when Logan's powers awakened for the first time. Remember that scene? A scared little boy, bone claws sprouting from his hands, discovering that the man he thought was his father wasn't. And who was there? Victor. Victor saying, "We're brothers." Victor promising they would stay together, that they would be a family, and they were. For over a century, wars, trenches, blood, death, they fought side by side in every conflict humanity managed to create. American Civil War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, always together, always protecting each other. But here's the thing about relationships built on violence. They reveal who you really are. Victor started losing himself. Each battle, each death, he kept sinking deeper into that darkness. He started enjoying the blood, started needing it. While Logan still had something human inside him, something that resisted. And that was the beginning of the end, because there's nothing more painful than realizing that the person you love is becoming a monster, and that maybe they always were. Close your eyes for a second. Think of someone you considered family, someone who was there in your worst moments, someone you would defend without thinking twice. Now, imagine discovering that this person betrayed you, that they participated in the destruction of your happiness, that they helped kill the woman you loved. That's what Logan feels in that moment. Kayla, the woman who made Logan believe he could be more than a weapon, that he could love, that he could have peace. And Victor. Victor was part of the plan that took her from him. When Logan drives those claws into Sabretooth's chest, it's not just rage, it's grief. It's the death of an illusion that lasted over 100 years. "I'm not your brother." With this phrase, Logan isn't just rejecting Victor. He's rejecting everything they were, all the shared history, all the battles, all the promises made on that childhood night. He's saying the blood that connects us means nothing compared to the choices you made. And that, my friend, is a truth that hurts because it's universal. How many times do we hold on to toxic relationships because of shared history? How many times do we forgive the unforgivable because we're family? How many times do we let someone destroy us because we can't accept that person changed? Or that maybe they were never who we thought they were? Logan spent decades denying what Victor was becoming. Decades making excuses. Decades believing that the brother he knew was still in there somewhere, but he wasn't. And accepting that is what freed Logan. It's what allowed him to finally step away from that spiral of violence that defined his life. You know what makes this scene even more devastating? Victor's reaction. He doesn't scream, doesn't attack. For a moment, you see something on his face that looks like pain, as if somewhere very deep, there was still a piece of that boy who promised to protect his little brother. But that piece isn't strong enough to change anything. And maybe that's what hurts most in broken relationships, knowing that the person had the capacity to be different, that they chose not to be. This scene works because it's not about superheroes. It's not about adamantium claws or healing powers. It's about two men who grew up together and became strangers. It's about the pain of recognizing that someone you loved has become someone you can no longer recognize. It's about the courage to say, enough. Logan didn't want this fight, didn't want this confrontation. He just wanted peace, a cabin in the middle of nowhere, a woman who loved him, a simple life. But Victor wouldn't let that happen, because for Victor, Logan belonged to him, to the violence, to the blood, to the darkness they shared. And sometimes the only way to free yourself is to cause a rupture so deep there's no going back. "I'm not your brother." That phrase is a door closing. It's a funeral. It's Logan burying not just the relationship with Victor, but the version of himself that existed in that relationship. Is it painful? Absolutely. But it's also necessary, because the truth is this: some connections only keep us trapped in our worst selves. Some people, no matter how much we love them, only know how to pull us down, and recognizing that isn't betrayal, it's survival. Logan survived wars, survived experiments, survived having his skeleton fused with metal. But the hardest battle he ever fought was this one: accepting that his brother died a long time ago, and that the monster wearing his face no longer deserved his loyalty. When you watch this scene, you're not just seeing a fight between mutants. You're seeing the moment when a man finally allows himself to let go. And maybe that's what makes it hurt so much, because everyone has had to let someone go. Everyone has had to look at a person they loved and recognize that they've become someone impossible to love. Logan did what many of us are afraid to do. He looked at the history, at the memory, at the shared blood, and said it wasn't enough. That choices matter more than origin. That love isn't a reason to accept destruction. That sometimes the bravest thing you can do is admit it's over. So tell me something. If you could go back in time and speak to someone who hurt you deeply, someone you once called family, would you have the courage to say those 4 words?